After 37 of the longest years, NC State men's basketball has climbed the ACC mountaintop yet again. 2024 ACC Tournament champions.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It is time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Happy Championship Monday to all of Wolfpack Nation. Your Wolfpack basketball team is the 2024 ACC Tournament champions. That is a real sentence. That happened. I'm your host, Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. How about that, Wolfpack? They did it. Kevin Keatts did it. This roster did it. 5 wins, 5 days, the most unprecedented run of all ACC history. And to put the cherry on top, where you dominate your bitter rival in UNC in the championship game.
This, you and I talked about this off air, but now we can bring it on there because it's happened. This is the most NC State way it could have ever possibly happened.
Yes.
When you talk about the drought of championships in the Big Three, talking about men's basketball, football, baseball, when you talk about that championship drought, in terms of no ACC, no regular season, no tournament, no national championship, and you look at all the teams over the years who got close, you look at some of the basketball teams that we've had, where you were like, oh man, and if things if this bounce works out a little differently, it is the law of the wolf personified, in that when you expect the least, you get the most. We walked into this tournament saying, you're missing your leading scorer, you have problems scoring to begin with, and Louisville has nothing to lose. We trailed the worst team in the conference that had not won back-to-back ACC basketball games, period. And then we get to the final, where who else would be waiting on us? Who else would be waiting on us than the Dirty Foot Club themselves? And lo and behold, we get them in the championship. The fifth game straight. Highest seeded team to ever make the championship. Highest seeded Power 5 team to ever win their conference championship. And we go in there. We put the beats on Baycott and Davis. And I just want to let everybody know that Alex Nunnally has more conference championships than Armando Baycott combined. Put those two together. They don't have as many as Nunnally. Only NC State could end this drought in a moment where we were all thinking Louisville's going to put us out our misery and Keatts is out the door. And 5 days later, Keatts comes in and says, congratulations on your first championship in 30-some-odd years. The price of the brick just went up, ladies and gentlemen. What a time it is to be a member of Wolfpack Nation.
Obviously, just focusing on this championship game itself, who else could have been sitting in this final other than UNC? Yeah. Who else would you have rather faced to bring home the first championship in the Big Three sports at NC State in over 32 years? 37 years in basketball. The last one was 1987. A lot of conversations about would they be too fatigued to run with a team like UNC. Obviously, a much shorter week for them, and they pride themselves on running you into the ground. The pace and the tempo of which UNC plays was meant to break NC State's will in this game. And NC State came out and they wanted it more. They wanted it more. Casey Morsell, that was the first thing I heard him say in a post-game interview. Somebody asked him, do you think you guys wanted it more? Without missing a beat. Oh, absolutely. And they proved it. You could see it. You could see it from tip. We scored first, jumped out to an immediate 10-point lead, and there was a buzz in that building. I was in the building. It was primarily a light blue building. I want that to be known. There was a buzz, a palpable buzz from everyone in red saying, oh, NC State is here. They are active. They have shown up for this championship game. They want to be here. You really couldn't tell who was playing their fifth game and who was playing their third. Just clicking on seemingly all cylinders, getting out to a dream start against UNC was spectacular. The four NC State players that you obviously have to talk about in this game, DJ Burns, the MVP, DJ Horn, Michael O'Connell, Mo Diarra. The performance that these four put together in the championship final and really all week was unbelievable. We had talked about several times on this program that seemingly every time DJ Burns is faced with Armando Bacot, DJ Burns is going to get his. What better stage than DJ Burns to not only get his and then some on Bacot Saturday night? He was taking Armando's lunch money. Armando had no answer for him in the paint. None. The physicality on a day 5 DJ Burns.
Yeah.
That's stuff of legend. And I told you at some point in this episode, I'm likely going to cry. I can feel it in the back of my eyes here. So bear with me if that does happen. Kevin Keatts had this team ready. All the noise the whole week, 4 games up to this. You're facing your bitter rival in the 5th, the championship game. They were ready for the challenge.
This team refused to give in. You know, we talk about the fact that this team is undefeated since Jimmy V's birthday, which very recently passed. But this team was running off the stuff of legends. This team, in order to win this tournament, you know, I tweeted about it and I said, this team has the opportunity to go legend and do something special. What could be going legend more than Mo Diarra breaking the record for rebounds in the ACC tournament? What could you possibly ask for from this NC State team that they didn't give you? They gave you guts. They gave you every single complaint that you have about Keatts answered in this game. Timeouts called at crucial moments to get the momentum back on our side. He took risk. Everybody loves saying, if you get in foul trouble with Keatts, he's not going to take the risk. You're done. He took the risk with DJ Horn when it mattered most. Raleigh native DJ Horn. Come on. DJ Horn did everything that he could to get this team there, and his role was to fill it up. His role, even when he was coming in a reduced capacity off the bench. His role, even when he was hobbled. His role, night 1, he was out, but nights 2, 3, 4, 5 was to ease pressure for the big fella down low.
Clip that I'm sure many of you have seen on social media of DJ Horn getting emotional. Yeah, this is where I'm going to get emotional. The kid from Raleigh, hold on.
And here's the thing that I need everybody to know, okay? I've been a Wolfpacker since 2012. Since 2012, just about. Because that's when obviously I got the offer and all that. But Grayson, this is lifelong for him. This is lifelong. He's been here. The emotion that he's giving right now, it's the culmination of that. But he can tell it a lot better than I can.
It's deeper than just this year. Like many NC State fans, we have waited our whole life for something like this. I have waited my whole life for something like this. This fan base has been so starved for something in the last 32 to 37 years. Something. We have been at some points a laughing stock of P5 schools. In fact, the only P5 school in the last 30 years without a conference championship of any kind in the Big 3 sports. Just broke that. That is what this means to me, to NC State fans across the country, across the world. That is what this game means. For DJ Horn being a kid from Raleigh and going maybe a non-traditional route in college basketball, started a smaller school, worked his way up to Arizona State, his last year of eligibility, comes home to Raleigh to play for NC State and delivers to some a life-changing ACC championship. That is stuff of legend.
Yeah.
Kenton mentioned missed this first game of this run due to a strained hip flexor. So you know he's not playing at 100%. 29 points in the ACC championship against UNC. That's a legend. That's an NC State legend. NC State Wolfpack fans will forever remember the performance like that. We haven't even gotten to DJ Burns yet. DJ Burns wound up with the MVP trophy, and he has received maybe the most criticism amongst all of the players on this team all season long. And listen, there's been times where he hasn't played that well this year, but the level that he reached in this ACC tournament, DJ Burns, NC State legend. And when he took the mic after he got the MVP award and basically said, thank you for everyone that's been supporting me along the way. And for those that are supporting me now, welcome back. He deserves every single bit of that. Every single bit of that. We've been critical. NC State fans have been critical. The media has been critical, and it didn't stop him. Yeah. He took home the MVP trophy of the 2024 ACC tournament.
And what player have we seen that has dealt with more unfair and downright nasty and mean-spirited?
It's been ugly.
Criticism.
It's been ugly.
When national commentators, looking at you, Jay Billis, find it funny and amusing to big old Jabba the Hutt down there. Come on, dude. Come on. And he in particular, people talked about his condition. 5 games in 5 days. You know what he said? Coming into this last game, my legs were hurting. They were sore. But I saw my brothers. And I knew if they were good, I was good. Brother, you're more than good. You're great enough to get this team their first championship in over 3 decades.
This is a run that we will remember forever in NC State history. We're going to look deeper at this run in just a moment after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first sponsor of the day is Nissan. This week's March Madness bracket highlight is brought to you by our friends at Nissan. Each week, we're picking one team that stands out, a team that's pushed it further than the rest. Just like any of the all-new 2024 Nissan SUVs, these guys are able to take it to the next level. The Utah State Aggies are obviously this week's Nissan Rogue. The team absolutely surprised us all with a powerful performance against New Mexico, giving them their first outright Mountain West title in program history. They say, win life, go Rogue, and that's exactly what the Aggies have done here. Take the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. Second sponsor of the day is Amazon Fire TV. Fire TV is the destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV. Whether it's opening weekend for MLB or the upcoming March Madness tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That actually includes all of us here at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports. And not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, and cooking videos as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, like I said, you should. Trust us on this. Do this before March Madness gets here on Thursday. To learn more, visit www.amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. The Locked On College Basketball Bracket Breakdown Show is now available on the Locked On College Basketball podcast. Our experts Andy Patton and Isaac Shade will break down the brackets and discuss everything that you need to know to fill out a winning bracket and prepare for this year's NCAA tournament. Find the Locked On Bracket Breakdown now on the Locked On College Basketball podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Middle portion of our Monday show. Now we're going to talk about this run as a whole. 5 games, 5 days, 5 wins, and an ACC championship. Let me be perfectly clear. This is the greatest ACC conference tournament run of all time.
Yeah.
One of the greatest college conference tournament runs of all time. I think maybe Kemba Walker and UConn have a bid on this. NC State just put together a run that you may never see again. A 10th seeded team that had to play on Tuesday became the first ACC team to ever make it to just Friday. Just making it to the semifinal had never been done before, let alone winning that semifinal. Shout out Michael O'Connell on that buzzer beater to send us to overtime. Getting to the championship on Saturday and winning that one too. You will never see a run like this in a college conference tournament, maybe ever again. Certainly not in the ACC. I don't see a way anyone can pull off something like this again. This was a destiny run. This is a legacy run. This is a run that NC State will never, ever, ever forget.
Yeah, and again, it only becomes sweeter and more special when you add the context. Yes. Coming into this tournament, what percent of Wolfpack Nation wanted to keep Coach Keatts? Be honest. So that's the first part of this thing. And Grayson and I can both admit, what was our saying all season? No dance, no chance.
Listen, we were very critical, but I do believe we were very honest. We were very honest about the situation at hand. What he has done now, he has saved his job unquestionably. He's now an NC State legend as well. He broke the NC State curse. Kevin Keatts broke the NC State curse.
And so you go back to Louisville. You're looking at a team that's already gotten rid of their coach, and you're trailing at halftime. You're without your leading scorer. The doubts are swirling. The doubts are swirling. And everybody's sitting up here like, are we about to lose to one of the worst teams in conference history? Are we about to do this? And lo and behold, out of the ashes, they had the shovel. They were pouring the dirt on the Wolfpack's grave. That team finds a way in the second half. That team finds a way. And then the next game, Syracuse. We know what this game was going to be about. Keep Judah Mintz off the free throw line. Keep him off the free throw line. You're going to be all right. But if he gets there, and let me backtrack a little bit. Jim Boeheim telling Ernest Raw, I'll tell you what, every season we need the media to say something nasty about NC State to start it off.
The formula has now been officially established. You take a season to their near breaking point, happened in football, now happened in basketball. A media member opens their mouth and chastises that team. That team will then go on an immediate 5-game win streak. Thank you, Steve Smith. Thank you, Jim Boeheim.
This was a game where all of a sudden, man, are we beating Syracuse? Is this happening? Because last year it seemed like when teams had our number, they had our number, they had our address, they had our social security, they had our mama name, they had our blood type, they had all that info. Coach Keatts makes some adjustments. We come out on top in that one. Okay, now wait a minute. The free throw discrepancy flipped in our way in a big way. All right, well maybe that's what it was.
NC State getting to the foul line. What is going on here?
And maybe, but the magic is gonna run out because those old Blue Devils. Oh man, they got lots of that McCain kid finally stopped doing TikToks and start hitting shots. Oh man. Kyle Filipowski, he came back from a torn ACL, MCL, PCL, LCL, torn up ankle. They removed his ankle off the bone. It was cooked all day like oxtails. They put it back on. And he comes back, to do what he needs to do. There's no way you can beat that type of story. No way. No way. There is a way. There very much, in fact, is a way. And then UVA, all right. You got your upset. You got a couple of wins. Okay, now it's time, Hey, we thought it was going to be an all-triangle final, but, UNC struggles with UVA. It's time for them to exercise those demons. Well, Michael O'Connell enters the chat. We're down a little bit. We're sending an 82 or 88% free throw shooter to the line.
McNeely is a rare miss at the foul line.
Oh, man.
Missed the biggest free throw imaginable.
It's over for State now. You know, you played a free throw game with UVA, and you know how disciplined UVA is. They weren't even in the bonus in overtime. That's how disciplined UVA is. And then Michael O'Connell hits a shot that was so high it wasn't even in the frame at certain points. Off the glass, no time left in regulation. Let's go to overtime. And you talk about regulation, the big fella down there, DJ Burns, go on to regulate, big dog. Go on and get it going, big dog. Go on and, hey, let the big dogs eat. Puppies get off the porch. And it was time for DJ Burns to eat. And then, of course, in the final, well, it's been a nice run. You know, hey, Grayson, it was a great story. It was a great Hollywood story. But the clock's going to strike midnight. Cinderella's, you know, the carriage is going to turn back into a pumpkin. The glass slipper is going to slip off. Well, wait a minute. What's going on there? Did DJ Burns just hit his first 3 of the season? Whoa. What's happening here?
Just real quick, what in the world was that? Just with full confidence, DJ Burns walks into a 3 and laces it. First three-pointer of his college career comes in the ACC championship game against North Carolina. Can somebody say destiny for me? Hello.
Hey, come on now. Come on now. Look at that. This was a team. This was a run. Magical. Flatly magical. Everything about it defied logic. It defied reason. It defied normalcy. It defied convention, because this team was that special. They were that different.
During last week, obviously, I talked a lot about this team just letting it rip, just playing loose, playing for each other, playing for their coach, playing what very well could have been their last basketball games of the season, playing with nothing to lose. There's nothing more dangerous than a team with nothing to lose. And boy, did they play like that. 5 games in 5 days, never been done before, might never be done again. NC State beat the 3 seed in Virginia, they beat the 2 seed in Duke, and they knocked off the 1 seed in emphatic fashion on primetime television Saturday night. They would not die. They would not be denied. The amount of scrutiny that Coach Keatts has been under all season long, and honestly, for much of his coaching tenure here in Raleigh, closing out the outside noise, playing for each other, getting these guys ready for a tournament like this, believing in each other that you could pull off the impossible. I'm getting emotional again. I tweeted out a clip of Jim Valvano, and he talked about ordinary people could do extraordinary things. In every walk of life, ordinary people could do extraordinary things.
Yep.
In the 28 years of me on this planet, I have never seen something more extraordinary than this. They knew that they wouldn't be in the NCAA tournament. I would imagine Kevin Keatts knew what the outside noise was, what he may be up against if they had a disappointing finish in this ACC tournament, and it didn't matter. All that mattered was in that locker room. All that mattered was these guys on this team and 5 games to get it done. You can really only dream of something like this. You cannot script a run like this.
If you wrote this script up in Hollywood, they throw it away and reject it like, this is stupid. There's no way this happens. What do you mean a 10th team in the conference, not 10th in the nation, 10th in the conference, goes on to knock off the 1, 2, and 3? What do you mean? What are you talking about here?
So just know you have witnessed the greatest ACC tournament run of all time, ever. ACC basketball history. And the NC State Wolfpack had the pen.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What a team. What a ride. In just a minute, we're going to close out this Monday episode talking about this ACC title significance and what it means for NC State as an institution, after a quick word from our sponsors. Our final sponsor of the day is LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are just right for that role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to interview and hire. It gives you access to professionals that you simply cannot find anywhere else. LinkedIn does all of that while making the process easier and intuitive. Hiring is simply easier when you have this many quality candidates to choose from. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses can get a qualified candidate within just 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats that they simply might not have the time or resources to hire effectively. LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make this process easier. They have even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, streamlining this process. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. Make yours a part of this statistic. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Last couple minutes of our Monday show. Now talking about the significance of all of this. What does this ACC championship mean to NC State? Well, like I mentioned, it snaps a 32-year streak of not having a conference title in the big three sports: football, men's basketball, and baseball. Women's basketball, as we all know, went on their three-peat just a couple years ago, and that was an outstanding accomplishment. But the big three at NC State had still been lacking this title, this elusive title, for more than 30 years. Kevin Keatts and your 2023-2024 NC State Wolfpack have broken the curse. NC State stuff, you know what the word is. NC State stuff has been well documented for over 3 decades. Yep. Kevin Keatts just hit it with a dagger. Kevin Keatts has ended NC State stuff. He delivered the elusive championship. Kevin Keatts is a winner. He is a conference championship winner. Kevin Keatts is a champion. Maybe that should be the new tagline. To be there in the building, to see them break this curse, it was an otherworldly experience. To beat UNC, to do it, no less, is a nice little cherry on top of that thing. But I stood there in the crowd and I watched the confetti go everywhere, and it was red and white confetti. And NC State was standing on the platform, and Kevin Keatts was holding the ACC Tournament trophy, and DJ Burns was holding the ACC Tournament MVP trophy. Any NC State fan listening to this knows what this means. We all have a personal story of probably what this title means to you, means to your family, means to your friends. This is different than any other school. The drought has been documented. The drought is over. We have done it. NC State has done it. Kevin Keatts has done it. This men's basketball team has done it. And you were here to witness it.
You talk about the significance of this championship. Like I said, I already told Dawn, you and Nathan are up next. It's time. It's time. Nobody, no team, no university can stay down, can stay being a bridesmaid, can stay being second place, can stay being – we were so close we almost had them. Almost. We were if that one pitch doesn't go a yard, or if they just call that one hold, you can't be that team for forever. And now, more than any, it's the time. There are so many coaches that have always been on the precipice. It's always right there, so close, almost. It's time. It's time. A new era is here. A new era is here, and it's time for NC State to claim our rightful place in that era. To claim our rightful place and say, listen, the Wolfpack are no longer the stepping stone, no longer the doorman, no longer the almost, no longer the always bridesmaid, never the bride. It's time. Go get your rings, fellas. Go get your rings.
Many times on here, Kent and I have talked about the concept of good things can happen to NC State. Decades of unfortunate events have obviously unrolled before our eyes, and it leads a lot of us to believe maybe we are snake bitten. Maybe we're not meant to win anything for this extensive period of time. Will NC State ever win something again? We said the mindset should remain that NC State can win something like this. Good things can happen at NC State, and the expectations of that should not change. Greatness can be achieved here at NC State. You heard Jaquavion Smith say this in the locker room last year when he was talking about, these players coming up through high school and looking in the transfer portal, and they see the big guys, the Duke and the Carolina in this state. And they're like, wow, those are obviously the brand name schools with the most success in this area. And Baby T said, no, you can come to NC State and you can be great. And that was greatness personified Saturday night in Washington, D.C. And you talk about the momentum that could come out of this now. Kevin Keatts is obviously going to have to go into the transfer portal again and create another brand new roster for this coming year. You think him sitting in the office with that trophy, you think that's pretty good bargaining chip, I would think.
Yeah.
And I saw Wolfpack NIL tweeted several times over the course of this weekend that the donations have flooded in since winning this title. This is the type of thing that swings momentum in your favor at NC State. For basketball, obviously football is on the way. We know our expectations there, but you saw what the momentum shift was for that as well. Baseball continues to be a work in progress. Their facilities are nearly finished. We're about a year away from that being done. NC State is on the rise. This athletic program is on the rise. And what you saw Saturday night is a big domino to push over all of the rest.
I hope that Grace and I are in Charlotte somewhere around Christmas time or so, and we're saying to ourselves, all of this because some weird old guy took exception to this. All of this because Steve Smith thought we're a basketball school. And lo and behold, the dominoes just kept on falling until we looked up and said, NC State basketball ACC champions, NC State baseball ACC champions, NC State football ACC champions. Whoa, would you looky here?
We have been knocking on the door of greatness for 3 decades. Kevin Keatts on Saturday night, he opened that door. NC State fans, prepare yourselves to start walking through that door. We're close. Kevin Keatts is not just a winner. Kevin Keatts is a champion. He is an ACC champion. Nobody will ever take that from him. Congratulations, Coach Keatts. Congratulations to the NC State men's basketball program, 2024 ACC Tournament champions.
NC State in the last year of the Power 5 is the last Power 5 team ever to have both their men's team and women's team in the conference basketball championship.
Pretty good.
Hey, shout out to Westmore. Shout out to Kevin Keatts. We got some winners in the building. Y'all.
Coming up on tomorrow's episode, we got a tournament to start discussing. NC State drew Texas Tech as the 6th seed, NC State the 11th seed, beginning on Thursday. A lot to break down. We're in March Madness. We didn't even mention that in this entire episode. The biggest elephant in the room of this whole situation is NC State is dancing. They're in March Madness. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow and the rest of the week leading up to Thursday. That will do it for us here on Monday. A big episode. Probably unquestionably the biggest episode we have done here as a duo. NC State won a title, and we were here to talk about it. That is unbelievable. Thank you all so very much for your support. Thank you for your viewership. Be sure to hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment box. I want to break our 1-day record of comments on an episode. I think we should do this with ease. NC State just won a title, folks. Get your comments in the comment box. I'll get to each and every one of those. And if you have not already, mash that subscribe button. We're still hurtling toward our goal of 1,500 subscribers by the end of this month. We're getting close. We can't do it without your support. So be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. We will see you all tomorrow. Until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.